Hello folks! Did you know that Klee is one of the units with the highest skill ceiling in Genshin Impact? There are several combat techniques that can greatly increase her damage output, putting her above a powerhouse like Diluc in terms of DPS. The downside is for mobile players. It's very difficult, if not impossible, to constantly do all the cancel techniques that boost her damage to the top. Another trade-off is her tankiness. She has the lowest defense out of all the 5 stars and only slightly higher HP than Ganyu. However, she has a lot of mobility when played correctly and can avoid most attacks in the game. Klee is at her strongest as a main carry. I feel using her as a support is a waste since she needs constellations to maximize her support potential. I am still focused on free to play, so I will not go over her support style. Just look over her 2nd and 4th constellations for her support capabilities. Klee can outdamage Diluc with a combination of her normal and charge attacks alongside the bonus of her Ascension 1 passive. This section will be the longest in the video because it is the most important one to increase Klee's damage output. The goal is to get out quick normal attacks to fish for the explosive spark. To do that, we need to animation cancel her normal attacks. Klee normally has a 3-hit combo that has a pretty long animation, with the 2nd hit doing the least damage. By using the walk animation cancel, we can get Klee to keep using the first hit of her combo over and over again. To do this, hold a movement direction and correctly time the attack button. The first frame when you can input the attack button is right when Klee begins to walk. If you actually frame perfect this cancel, you will not see Klee move forward. This is usually called the machine gun Klee, and it's quite difficult to get consistently. Use the visual or audio cue you are most comfortable with to get the timing down. I like to focus on her left foot and attack a tempo after it stops moving. Another cancel to learn is the jump cancel after her 2nd attack. This has a slightly lower DPS than the 1-hit walk cancel, but it's much easier to perform. The jump also provides mobility options to chase or avoid enemies without using stamina. If you want to jump to the side, you will need to delay the jump a little in order to throw the 2nd attack in the original direction. You can see the bomb going in the wrong direction if you jump too early. I am also showing a comparison between the 1-hit walk cancel, the 2-hit jump cancel, and the full 3-hit combo with a dash at the end. I remove all artifacts that affect crit rate in this comparison to show the actual damage difference without luck involved. The 1-hit machine gun does the best damage, but is very easy to mess up, so doing 2 hits into a cancel is probably better for most players. The 3-hit combo into dash also does good damage too, but you don't want to use that because you cannot cancel the 3rd hit into a charge attack, which results in lower DPS. As I just hinted, you won't be only using normal attacks with Klee. You need to add in lots of charge attacks to take advantage of the explosive spark she generates. Her elemental skill, along with her normal attacks, have a 50% chance to generate an explosive spark. This is the small flower that floats around her head. This spark makes her next charge attack do 50% more damage and not consume stamina, which is crazy good. Also, do not do a raw charge attack since there's a lot of extra startup frames when it's used by itself. You'll always want to cancel a normal attack into a charge attack. The easiest way is cancelling her first hit into a charge attack. To do this, just left click twice, but hold the 2nd left click until she starts her charge attack. Use this 1 hit into charge if you already have an explosive spark ready. If you do not have one, then do 2 hits into charge attack to try and fish for the spark. In addition to cancelling into a charge attack, you will want to jump or dash cancel out of the charge. Like always, there's lots of extra animations after her charge attack that you want to remove. Klee's charge attack also knocks away smaller enemies, so you'll need to dash or jump to chase after them. Combining all these techniques is what makes Klee very hard to optimize, but she has the potential to be extremely powerful. Her elemental skill, Jumpy Dumpty, has 2 charges. It bounces 3 times, dealing damage on each bounce. When you use it a 2nd time, all the mines from the first bomb explodes, so you cannot mine up the entire battlefield. The area the mines cover is pretty large, and you can group them up with Anemo MC, Sucrose, or Jean. For some reason, Venti's burst does not move the mines like Anemo MC. Not sure if this is intended or a bug, but since MiHoYo still haven't addressed this issue for a long time, it might be intended. You can cancel the recovery animation with a dash or jump to reposition to a better spot. You can also cancel it with her elemental burst, but if you do it too early, it will stop the skill from going off entirely, so make sure you wait until you see the bomb appear before using her elemental burst. This is the earliest you can cancel into her ult, and you are better off cancelling late than early. Speaking of her elemental burst, Sparks and Splash, it's pretty simple. It summons 4 flowers that automatically shoot nearby enemies like funnels in Gundam. These flowers appear 5 times over 10 seconds, dealing 4 hits each time. If you swap out Klee before all the attacks are used up, the remaining attacks will disappear and be wasted. For her talents, level up her normal attack first. It will provide the most DPS gain. After that, work on her elemental burst, and then save elemental skill for last. But regardless, you want all of these to be at least level 6 in the end, since they all increase her overall DPS and gets used quite often during battle. Klee's first Ascension passive is a huge DPS increase, which only gets better as you master her animation cancels. More hits mean more chances to generate an explosive spark. Her second passive is also pretty nice and incentivizes on building more crit rate. Landing a crit with her charge attack gives everyone 2 energy, including Klee. This lets Klee out more often and lets your swap supports get more ults in as well. I'm not going over her constellations. They are pretty self-explanatory and establishes her to be a strong support unit, but it will cost you an arm and a leg. Now for her weapons. As usual, we'll go over her free-to-play options first. Sadly for Klee, the choices aren't too great. None of the craftable 4-star catalyst truly synergizes with Klee. The best option is the Noose Frostbearer catalyst since it has an attack substat. You get this recipe by offering 90 Crimson Agates to the Dragon Spine tree. This means you need to find at least 70 Crimson Agates from exploring, and then keep doing the 5 weekly quests that gives bonus Crimson Agates until you reach 90 total. Another problem with this weapon is the passive Icicle. Most of the time, the Icicle will miss an enemy because you knock them back with Klee's charge attack. The Mappa Mare is the second choice. This is actually better than the Frostbearer if you have Shincho to cause vaporized reactions with Klee. The best 3-star catalyst is the Twin Nephrite, since crit is a very valuable stat for Klee. Klee's Gacha arsenal really boosts her damage. All the 5-star catalysts are better than the 4 stars, with Skyward Atlas leading the charge by a large margin. After that, it's the Lost Prayer and Memory of Dust. Now for the more interesting 4-star options. The best general use weapon is the Solo Pearl from the Battle Pass. The substat and passive synergizes perfectly with Klee's active playstyle. A very close runner-up is the Witsith. 2 out of the 3 Witsith procs will do more damage than the Solo Pearl. If you have Shincho as a support, then the Witsith becomes the best 4-star weapon due to the Elemental Mastery procs helping increase all the vaporized damage. Eye of Perception is another strong weapon that excels when fighting multiple enemies. All the 4-star weapons I listed from the gacha pool is better for Klee than any of the weapons you can craft. Choose the best one you're able to get. For her artifacts, the best general use set is a 2-piece Crimson Witch with a 2-piece Gladiator. This set will be better than any of the other sets outside of the special situations I will go over. Pairing the 2-piece Witch with the 2-piece Noblesse is weaker for Klee's damage unless you are running and dodging a lot while her burst is active. This set gets weaker as you learn enemy attack patterns. The 4-piece Crimson Witch set does slightly less damage than with 2-piece Gladiator, unless you are running a Vaporize or Melt comp that Klee can take advantage of. Vaporize is easy since you can just attack normally after using Shincho's ult, but a Melt comp is a little harder. You need to space out Klee's attack to make sure she hits the enemy after they have cryo applied. Klee is probably the only character that can fully utilize a 4-piece Lava Walker set. All her attacks causes enemies to be affected by Pyro, giving you the bonus damage. Normally, this set is weaker than the first one I listed, but Lava Walker shines if you are running 3 or 4 Pyro units. This ends up being an unconventional team, but can push her damage above the first artifact set. Do not go with the 4-piece Wanderer set. The charge attack bonus is not enough to put it above any of the other sets. The stat priority is the same as always. Pyro damage as number 1, crit rate and crit damage after that, and then attack percentage for the rest. Make sure to have pyro bonus damage on the goblet. For the helmet, choose the crit stat that your weapon does not provide. Try to keep a 1:2 ratio with crit rate and crit damage. Finally, the timepiece should have attack percentage. The substats for the other artifacts will have the same priority. For Klee teams, you want to have another pyro unit such as Bennett or Shangling to get more pyro energy particles and get that bonus attack from the team elemental resonance. You will also want a hydro or cryo unit to help with the vape or melt reactions. Shincho is the easiest option since his ult timing allows Klee to proc all the vaporized reactions. Mona is also a good choice. Just ignore trying to get 4 times vaporized damage and do as much damage as you can with Klee during the Omen debuff window. The last slot should be a healer. Klee is very squishy, so you'll need someone that can patch her up from time to time. All the healers except Noelle works with Klee. The best choices are Bennett, Jean, Chi-Chi, Diona, and Barbara. If you are not picking Jean as a healer, then you should choose one of the healers that matches the same element as the hydro or cryo unit you are using already. This will give them more energy overall and unlock the elemental resonance bonus. That's it for my guide on Klee. I feel the earlier section about her normal and charge attacks is the most important part of this video. Mastering the cancel timings will almost double Klee's damage output. She is very hard to optimize, but will reward those that can. I'll just leave the rest of the floor video to play out. Thanks for watching and have fun out there, traveler.